Alright, so the first step to setting up your pole barn is you got to lay out your batter boards and your strings to get your building nice and square. So the first string that I set is this one, the front of my barn, because I wanted it parallel with the back of the house. So we measured off the house in 2 spots, ran this string parallel, and set it on the batter boards. And once you get your strings where you want them, because you might have to do some adjustments, but what I'd like to do is take a knife and just make a little notch in the top of the batter board. So you just make a little notch here, and then your string will ride down in that groove and it won't move on you. So I got the front of my barn string set. I measured off my property line 21 foot on the other end because I want my barn to be at least 20 foot from the property line, so the 1 foot overhang, that keeps it 20 foot off. I go 21 to the corner of the barn on the other side. So here's my front of my barn, this string here, that's my first string, and then I set where I want this corner. So this is 21 foot from the property line. I stretch this string across. I want to get it as square as I can. So there's a trick that you go, a 3, 4, 5 triangle is square. So if you go 3 foot, make a little mark on your string, and then you go 4 foot this way and make a mark. Then between those 2 marks should be 5 feet, and then you know you got a good square corner. So you get this string, this side of the string set, and then as you try and get your 3, 4, 5 triangle here, somebody on that end can move your string in or out until you get a nice square 90-degree corner right here. You still might have to do some adjustments afterwards, but once you get this string set, then you got to take the dimensions of your barn. So in my case it's 32 feet deep, so I measure 32 feet from this string that way and from the other corner back to that corner, and stretch a parallel line for the back of the barn. So I have 2 lines that are parallel, 32 feet apart. I got this line that's pretty close to square, and then I measure from this line that way 48 feet, and from that way 48 feet, and set that line. Once that's done, we'll take a long tape measure and measure corner to corner, from this corner to that diagonal corner, and from that corner to that diagonal corner, and those 2 measurements should be equal, and that's how we know we're square. So if it's not quite square, if you have to move this line in or out, you have to move the other line the same distance, because you have to keep that 32 or 48 feet, whatever it might be. And then once your corners measure, your diagonal corners measure square, or measure the same, then you know your building is square. And this line is going to represent the outside edge of the barn. So that's the outside edge of the 2x4 purlin. So the post then, if we look, let's look over here on this post that's set. So you can see this represents our purlin, and we just barely touched that line. So my post has to be 1.5 inches back there, and same thing here. It's 1.5 inches back here.